Now that we've got our project animated, let's take a look and see how we can create a motion graphic template where we can actually change assets within Premiere without having to go into After Effects. Creating a template will allow us to reuse this lower third over and over again for different types of projects and different scenarios. Let's jump in and take a look. So here is my template. If I just play this back for you, it just comes in. I've got some text that is animated on, and then it sits there for a little bit, and then it is animated off. So there you go. And by now, if you've been following along, you should already know how to animate any of these assets just by animating scale, position, and rotation, as well as opacity. I've also animated specific text within my group 1 layer, where you can see the text actually comes on from different from either above or below. And then there's a mask that's driving what's visible when that text is in a specific position. So for instance, the word position has a box around it on the lower side. So it's only visible when it's inside that box. It's invisible when it's outside that box. So we've created a mask, a layer mask, to do all of that. All right, so how do we create a graphic? Well, we're going to find our Essential Graphics tab, and we're going to go to Window and jump down to Essential Graphics and make sure that that's checked. Okay, and then mine pops up right here. Yours may be on another part of a screen. Just go ahead, just like any window, you can rip it off and put it wherever you want. So Essential Graphics, and choose a composition that's going to be your primary composition. So I'm going to choose my motion graphic composition because that's like my main or my master comp for this particular project. So if I jump out to motion graphic, and now what I'm going to do is first give this a name. I'm going to call this one blue lower third, so I know what it is. And you can solo supported properties. That's totally fine. It just kind of isolates different things down below. For me, I don't really need that at this point, but let's go ahead and we can set poster time, and it's going to kind of create a thumbnail for your animation. Now let's go down to the bottom here, and this is where we're going to start to build out our motion graphic. And I'm going to choose a group. So I'm going to first add a group, and maybe we'll have this group be text. Okay, and then we might have another group, and we might have this one called color. And let's just leave it at that for now. Text and color, that's all I really need for this. So for color, say I want to change the color of this layer, of this shape layer. Let me turn that on and off, boom, boom. So maybe I want to change the color of that. Well, if I go to layer, and I come down to layer styles, color overlay, hide our masks for a second, layer styles, color overlay, color, nothing is really happening there. I'm going to delete that. That's not going to work for me on this one. So let's go ahead and pre-compose this layer. We're going to call this one graphic. And I'm going to leave all attributes in that layer. So boom, just like that. So let's try applying the layer styles now to our graphic. So we'll go layer or effects, layer styles, there we are. Color overlay, and there we go. We've applied a color overlay to that particular graphic. Now, you can see that we lost our bevel and emboss. So if I change this to this color overlay, it's at normal. What if I said overlay it? There's our bevel and emboss, it's back. So if you just do a normal, it's going to be flat. So you do have to composite this onto your original in order to keep that transparency or that any of the effects that you have. So whether you have like in this particular case, it was a bevel or emboss as well as a drop shadow. So that's what kept those there, okay? Now let's go ahead and change, let's do that. Let's do, say, overlay. That looks good. Let's do the same thing to this polygon tool right here, this hexagon. Let's come down here. Let's take a look at our, so we need to pre-compose this. So pre-compose, leave all that. We're gonna call this one hexagon or hex. Now, come back here to a layer styles, color overlay, boom, now it's all there. And I come down here to layer styles, color overlay, color, okay, blending modes, let's do say overlay. And now I've got another color going on, and you can see the white, and you can see the shadow is still there. So I haven't lost that. So why did I do that? Well, let's come back up to Essential Graphics. And one thing I can do is say, hey, if I want to keep all of my colors and all of my tints and everything the same, what I can do is pick whip some of this stuff together. So I'm going to say, hey, I want this color to be the same as this color up here. So I'm going to choose this color. Boom. And I'm going to bring this color up into my colors panel. So color, overlay, color. So I can call this one shape color. Now, if I change this color to, say, yellow, it changes both of them to yellow and then applies it there. If I change it to blue, there's my blue. So that's one powerful way of adjusting your color uniformly throughout your entire project. So let's go ahead and apply that same tint or similar tint to these two color layers back here. So let's go to our group, that's in our group 1, right? So there's our rectangle. Okay. Rectangle 2 is our white line. We don't want to deal with that. Rectangle 1 is the top one, so we'll do that. Layer pre-compose. We'll call this one top texture. While we're at it, we're going to pre-compose this bottom one too. So I'm just going to right click and say pre-compose. I'm going to call this one bottom texture. Layer styles, color overlay. There's our red. We'll do this one here. Layer styles, color overlay. So there's my color. I've added color to this. Again, I have to come in here to color overlay and adjust my compositing. So it's just not normal. Say I'll do a soft light there. I'll choose this one up here. And let's just try, okay. So there are those two layers there. But what if I want these colors to change? Okay, so I'm going to take this, maybe I want this color to stay the same as my hexagon. I don't want to change that color. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to pick whip, but I need to pick whip it to this other color. So what I'm going to do is take my motion graphic here, this timeline. I'm going to rip it off and bring it kind of up into a spot where I can view it. Now, I've got my group 1. Let's close that graphic out. Group 1. And now I could pick whip this. So I'm going to take, this was our master up here. I'm going to grab my color here and pick whip it to the color in this one. Just like that, you can see it changed based on this color here. Now this one, I'm going to have this one be a secondary color. So I'm going to take this one up here and drop that there. I'm going to call this one secondary shape. Okay. So now, if I change this color to, say, a darker blue or purple, or let's go with a dark blue, there you go. And you can see it's still set at a color dodge. I think I like that better with an overlay. Ooh, linear light, that looks nice too. So that changes that.